Well,
Sounds good.
thank you for both of you for joining me today. Um, you know, it's I very rarely get to talk to kids after they graduate high school. That's not my beat. But when my boss asked me if I wanted to catch up with you guys in advance of you guys coming up here next week, I said yeah, sure, that'd be great. Um, Lacie, let me start with you. Um, is it still a big deal to come home and play in Spokane?
It always is a big deal to come home and play in Spokane. I mean, it's where we're from. It's where all the people we love are. So I think coming home is just always super exciting.
And Lexie, this one means a little bit more than you guys played Gonzaga.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said this time it means a little bit more because it's actually a league game.
Right, yeah. And especially, I mean, coming off of 2 losses, hopefully tomorrow is a different story, but yeah, it's going to mean more. Every game means a lot. So especially playing at home, like Lacie said, where we're from, it means more to us.
This might be a weird question in the middle of your junior season here, but are you still finding adjustments, on a daily basis from obviously you guys played at a very high level in high school. Does it feel that way in college?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. I mean, yeah, we're learning things every game, every practice. The Pac-12 is a super competitive conference, and so we have to make adjustments every game because the league is so competitive. And in order to be successful, we're going to have to change things for each team. So for sure, I mean, we have to be on our toes and be flexible.
Lacie, how do you feel about that?
I mean, I would completely agree. I think that we're learning every game. And it comes down, and each year too, we're learning a lot because every team is different. So I think that just like it's a continuing learning experience, and I think we're getting better each game. So I think in the end, it's very positive.
I asked Maisie Burnham this a couple of weeks ago because she's got off to a great start at Eastern. Is it weird going from like superstar status where every time you step on the court, you're the best player on the court without any question, and then going to the college game where, holy cow, these girls are all as good as I am type of thing?
I mean, I think that in high school we played, like our team was really competitive, and everyone was, I mean, there's a lot of people that went and continued to play after high school, but at Stanford, it is like even a step up. I mean, everybody was a lot of the people were McDonald's All-Americans. A lot of people were Gatorade Player of the Year in their states. So you can't expect that your name or your previous accolades are going to get you any playing time or get you any wins, because no one thinks about your high school achievements anymore. It's more of you have to show what you can do each game and be ready to prove why you're there and why you should play.
Go ahead, Lacie.
I think coming into college, everybody has to like kind of accept this idea of being a role player. And Tara, after every game, she's like, our team's an orchestra, and every game a different instrument's gonna have their time to shine, their solo. And so I think that's a really good lesson to learn, because you never know when it's going to be your time. Anyone could have a breakout game at any time. So I think that itself is really important.
So it's one thing physically to go through that change, not having the ball in your hands every play. Mentally, Lacie, just thinking about it, how much of an adjustment is it? Okay, now I'm fitting in here as opposed to doing that type of thing.
I think it's just doing whatever the team needs, and that's different every year. And so I think accepting that and doing the best that you can at that specific role is the only thing you can do and the best thing you can do for your team.
And you mentioned Coach Vanderveer. I wanted to ask about that specifically. Obviously, she's a legend. What's it like being taught by a Hall of Famer while she's still in her career? With Lexie, go ahead.
I mean, she's incredible. It is a learning experience every day. I don't think that I would learn as much as I could had I played for another coach. I mean, Tara is such a skilled coach, and the fact that she sees things that not everybody sees, and she tells you them. And so every practice, I mean, I'm learning from her, and I'm taking a lot away from the game that I'm really grateful for. And it is pretty crazy to like sit back and realize the fact that I am playing for someone so renowned as Tara Vanderveer. I mean, it's crazy, but right now it's like she's my coach. That's just the name of the game.
Okay. Lacie, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, I echo everything Lexie said. She is so talented. She sees the game unlike anyone I've ever played for. And I think with her accolades, I mean, unlike any other coach right now, she has won so many games, and that comes with a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge that I feel really blessed to be able to kind of soak up for my time that I'm here. And so I definitely have learned a lot and continue to learn a lot. And like what you were saying earlier, I mean, we do learn every single day, every single game. And I think she's learning every single day and every single game. And so our team as a whole is just growing so much.
That's cool. It's got to be neat, going from your high school experience, and this isn't just the typical college experience. I mean, not only is it Division I, but it's Power 5 conference. You guys are expected to be in the top 10 every year. Lacie, is that kind of a different perspective, or is this something that you guys have dealt with your entire basketball careers, really?
I mean, I don't really play with thinking about the expectation that we like have to be good. I mean, every game is important, and so we focus on that. We focus on the team we're playing that game, not the team we're playing in 3 games, not whether or not we need to win this game to be have some record or be someplace in the Pac-12 or in the nation or whatever. I mean, we're playing each game as if it's our last, because especially this season, it could be our last. And so I think that like last year has definitely taught us that lesson and has made us really cherish and work hard each and every game. And so it's not really, I don't really think about it as like how far up we're ranked or not. We're just playing to play, and we're going to do the best we can each game.
But Lexie, it's still got to, you got to know where you guys stand on the pecking order, right? I mean, and when you're talking about the pantheon of women's college basketball, Stanford's right there with all the rest of them.
Yeah, I mean, like Lacie said, I feel like at this point it's more of we have that in the back of our minds, but the expectation to perform isn't necessarily for the ranking purpose. It's because we believe in our hearts and in ourselves that we are one of the best teams in the country. And so we go out and we compete for each other to show that the team that we are, not the team that is the number 1 in the country or a specific ranking, but because we feel that we can play the best that we can.
Lexie, how tough has this year been, considering all the stops and starts and the testing and not playing in front of fans, all of that?
I mean, it's definitely challenging all of us. It's going to be a season that we're never going to forget. And I think that we're learning a lot from it. But the biggest thing for us is that it's taught us how flexible we can be and how we're able to persevere through pretty much anything. I mean, we've been on the road for over a month, living out of hotels and suitcases and practicing in places we don't recognize. And I mean, and that's really challenging on all of us, but I think it's brought a lot of us closer. And I mean, we've just learned to grow through this experience. And yes, it's challenging, but we're also just really happy and blessed to be able to play every day.
How about you, Lacie? What's been the biggest adjustment this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest adjustment has just been the uncertainty. We don't know what tomorrow's going to look like. We don't know what a week's going to look like. We're just really grateful to have the day that we do have. And I think that with that has come just a lot of flexibility, like Lexie said. I mean, we'll play in a gym that might not have power one day, and then we just need to adjust and figure out how we're going to make that day the best that it can be, whether that's just watching film for a day or whether that's just walking through plays and because we can't see the ball or something. I mean, we're all in. That's what we say at the end of practice, and I think it really shows in how invested we are and how we are just making whatever we're given work.
Where do you guys find time to study?
In between, after 8 a.m., we get tested, and then we have practice at 12. So those 4 hours are pretty much everyone's high study hours. But it's challenging. I mean, we're definitely having to prioritize certain things and just lay out our schedule every day to figure out where we can fit in an extra 30 minutes to watch a lecture or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really just about time management, and everyone's different because everyone has classes at certain times, or they have classes that are recorded and then they have to figure out times to watch them. Everyone's doing a really good job, I think, with that so far. I mean, we're about to start week 3, so we haven't really experienced it like at full force yet, but it's been going well so far, I would say.
Cool. I'm having a hard enough time conducting my own business, let alone thinking about you guys playing ball and studying and having to put up with media requests and all the rest of it. It's just got to be just a constant, like you said, time management battle.
Mm-hmm.
I asked you guys this question after you won the state title, and I want to revisit it here. Do you guys ever think about your legacies, especially when it comes to, playing in Spokane, winning 2 state titles, playing for Stanford now? I know in the middle of your college careers, that might be a funny question, but I'm wondering if you've had a chance to, how much of a chance you have to reflect on your high school experiences, and how much of that you carry over into the college experience.
I mean, in terms of like our legacies, I haven't had too much time to reflect on that, just because I feel like we are still, I mean, we're still growing and trying to achieve things. And it is funny to think back at high school, because those were some of my favorite games and favorite experiences with my teammates. And I see pictures of those days show up on Instagram or something like that. And it makes me really sad that those times are over, because I love those girls and I love those teams. But when I'm playing, or when we're playing, I don't think we're really thinking about the effects of what's happening right now. It's more of just play in the moment and have fun. And I think in 5 years, then we can finally look back on these last 8 years and really reflect.
Yeah, I mean, that was really well said. I think I look back at like my high school experience and I'm just really grateful for it. And I think that it's put me in a position to be where I am today. And so I look back and I really value those games and those teams and coaches and just memories as a whole, because I think it's really taught me a lot, and it's given me the like knowledge to know that on any team I'm on, like we're capable of doing anything that we want. And so it set the bar really high, and it showed there weren't really any limits. And so I think that itself was really valuable, and something that I continue to kind of think about in college, and hope to have the same kind of end result after I'm done with college as I did in high school.
One more question about looking back, and then I'll ask about looking forward. So ever since you guys were little kids, almost every minute you've spent on the court has been with each other. Now in college, that's not necessarily the case. I have to imagine that was probably your biggest adjustment to the college game, is not standing right next to each other all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's really fun for us to play together, I think. I mean, last night's game, we got some minutes together, which was really fun for us, because I think we really feed off of each other. But that was an adjustment coming in, is that we have to start to become more of our own players and distinguish ourselves without each other, which was hard, but it's an adjustment that we both made. And but in terms of this entire process and being able to play with her is something that I really value, and I wouldn't want to play somewhere without her. I think this college experience, and especially this COVID college experience, has been 10 times easier because we've been together. And it's, I mean, I know that a lot of our teammates are struggling because they don't have family with them for the past few months, but we do. And so I feel very lucky for that.
Yeah. And I mean, like we might not be on the court at the same time, but just being on the same team has been just very valuable. Like I don't think that anyone that's not playing isn't standing next to the people on the court, because we are all one very connected system and one family. And so regardless of who's playing, I feel very fortunate to be with everyone, and especially with Lexie on this team.
Yeah, it's got to be nice to have a built-in support system there.
Definitely is, yeah.
So looking forward a little bit, do you guys have professional aspirations?
Yes, that's hopefully in the cards. Yeah, so definitely looking forward to that.
Internationally or the league? I mean, does it matter, or you just want to say, hey, here's my college, or I'm going to do whatever becomes available to me?
Yeah, I mean, I think first and foremost, my goal would be to get drafted. But if that doesn't happen, then I hope to play and then maybe make my way to the league. Who knows?
Yeah, I agree. I think any way to continue the basketball experience and prolong it, it would be something I'm definitely interested in.
Cool. Well, I think that's all that I had that I wanted to cover. Unless there's something that you guys wanted to bring up or something that I didn't ask about.
No, it's fun to kind of look back a little bit. So thanks.
Yeah, totally.
Cool. Well, I really appreciate you guys taking the time today. I've told you guys this before. You guys were a pleasure to cover in high school, and like I said, I don't get a chance to do this very often, so we'll catch up with you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.